we're moving into a period when, for the first time ever, we may have things more intelligent than us.
AI isn't just another tool, it's a super weapon. And the investors who learn how to use it right now will obliterate everyone else in the next bull run. This video is not about some theoretical use case or another prompt gimmick. It's about 3 very specific ways I use AI to become a better investor. They have helped me to cut down research time by 90%, test and simplify strategies, and create an execution rhythm that's almost impossible to break. You will get the exact prompts and frameworks in a second. But before that, let me say this. Most of you are making a big mistake when it comes to AI. You treat it like a toy. You play around, ask it to summarize something or generate random altcoin lists. And then you close the tab. That's not how I use it. But before we begin, I want you to understand something. AI is powerful. Even Michael Saylor used ChatGPT to refine the strategy behind his Bitcoin accumulation. But here's the catch. A powerful tool in the hands of an amateur is still dangerous. Think of it like this. Giving a race car to someone who just got their license doesn't make them win the race. In fact, they will probably cash before the first quarter, while the seasoned driver in a slow car laps them over and over again. That's your warning. AI won't save you from bad thinking, lazy research, or poor decisions. It simply amplifies what you already bring to the table. The top 4 AIs every crypto investor should use are: first, ChatGPT for more in-depth analysis on your strategy and to log your behavior; second, Claude for analyzing and visualizing data; and third, Perplexity and Grok for summarizing news. You don't need an account at all of them, but I highly recommend Claude and ChatGPT. And with that being said, our first use case that will make you a better investor is the billionaire mentor. Now, here's the prompt I use to upgrade ChatGPT into a ruthless macro advisor that tells you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. When you feed this prompt your portfolio or your plan or your narrative list, it will cut through your bullshit within seconds. It will tell you where you are underexposed or overexposed or simply delusional. And yes, you might not like the answer, but that's the point. You don't need a cheerleader, you need pressure. And the best thing is, you can always come back to this conversation and upload the progress you've made, and it will help you to figure out what the next steps are and give you feedback on what you have done. All right, so this is how it looks in action. This is a prompt. You can just pause the video and copy and paste it, or like go into the Telegram channel, because there you can just find like the prompts and copy and paste them from here. If you're wondering why I use this sort of language, this is a markdown language. This is something that not a lot of people know, but this way you just improve the way how ChatGPT can read your message and makes it better. Trust me, way better. So the results, if you use this type of language, it's called markdown language, you will get better results. So the overall prompt looks like this. You can go through it, but basically it just makes ChatGPT like a brilliant mind. So when I started testing it, I used like this prompt. I just wanted to understand, okay, is it actually doing something useful? And I just said, okay, all right, I'm a crypto investor and I have my edge in narrative investing. What do I need to hear? So when you go through this, like the first time I used it, I was like, is this really helpful? Like, can this really work? And what came out was actually really, really good. So you can use it and also like understand, okay, what do I have to do in order to become more successful? What is the next important step? I haven't uploaded my portfolio, obviously. I haven't uploaded like anything else, but you can also upload your like portfolio and your past decisions and stuff like this, and then continue to use it. Then I used it for a situation because I wanted to test if it's like really good, like if it's actually something that is not just relying on like news data and stuff like this. So I said that I'm a big believer in XRP, so I invested 70% of my capital, but I'm currently down 30%. What did I do wrong? Now, I thought that he would like push XRP and say, okay, it's a secure currency, it's a future investment or something like that. I wanted to bullshit test it. And basically it gave me exactly what I wanted to hear. So it told me that I'm over-concentrated, no exit reevaluation framework because I'm down 30%. I'm still holding blindly. Emotional attachment, masquerading as belief. Belief is irrelevant in investing. Only price fundamentals and capital flows matters. That's perfect. You don't need me anymore. Like, I don't have to sell CryptoGameplan anymore. It's crazy. Like, when you use this prompt and actually use it and understand like what the value behind this is, like, man, this is actually crazy. Like, people pay a lot of money for this type of
advice. And ChatGPT for that now is like, in my opinion, it's one of the most insane things in Earth. So what to do immediately, stop thinking about belief and shift to expected value and risk. So basically it tells me what I do or what I should do immediately, and it will give me a challenge. So what you can then do is create that position sizing and risk framework, and you can use AI again for that, but I would be very careful. So I haven't tested that out too much yet because I don't need it, obviously. But the position sizing and risk framework, for example, like I'm not 100% sure if it will bullshit you, like if it will give you some bad advice in terms of like anything. But yeah, I continue testing it, and yeah, continue testing it. It's really, really good. Like you can use it for all sorts of different things. So yeah, I would highly recommend you use it, and you will definitely become a better investor if you use it correctly.
All right, the second way I use AI isn't to analyze my portfolio. It's to manage my time. Let me ask you something. If you had 1 hour to work on your portfolio today, what's the highest leverage thing you could do? Most can't answer that. They just open Telegram, scroll through X, check charts, check prices, then 1 hour is gone without them making actual progress. So here's how I solve that. Every morning I start with a short log that includes how much time I actually have today, my emotional state, yes, that matters, key market events that I need to be aware of, my highest leverage move for today based on the first prompt that I gave you. Then every hour I check in. What did I actually do? Did I move the needle or was I drifting again? It's like a mental GPS. It keeps me aligned. You can build this into your own assistant within 10 minutes and also make some small adjustments. All right, this is the Ultra Structured Investor Accountability System prompt. So if you want to copy and paste it, like pause the video. It's a pretty long one. I actually used it also as an accountability system, not just for crypto, but for like my business and everything else in general. So this is something I highly suggest you to do. Like if you want to be very productive, don't just like log into this system once an hour, but every 15 minutes. Trust me, it will change your life. All right, so I won't read it. You can like pause the video from time to time and go through it yourself. But basically what it does, it is giving the prompt some instructions, and then you will also have some keywords, meaning that if you, for example, start the day, you can use the keyword start day, and you can also ask it for like for a template that lets you just fill in like all the information it needs from you in order to start the job. So start day is one of them. Then you have daily report, which basically helps you to like understand, okay, what did you do today? How much progress did you actually made? And it will like rate your efficiency. So in my opinion, that's really like helpful to understand, okay, am I moving in the right direction? Am I moving the needle? Or do I do like stuff which is not really like helpful? So then you can also use the weekly report, meaning that at the end of a week, so what I usually do, this is a quick hack, because the conversation will get quite long, which then also will influence the overall efficiency of this conversation. So meaning like you will have to wait longer and longer to get a response. So I would highly recommend you, like after 1 week, just create a new conversation with the same prompt, and then you can just compare, like once you have your weekly report, to compare your first weekly report against the second one. And the weekly report is basically very similar to the daily one, but it will just like summarize the overall week and like your performance, will give you some feedback. It's really helpful. And yeah, once you start this, you can basically, all right, whatever, we'll take this one. Second one takes some time. So you could also start with like, okay, please give me a template for the start of the day. Bam. Come on. So what you can basically do now is just copy and paste that. Here, like you can also track some stuff, like for example, your habits and overall priorities. So what I would do is always like use a template like this. Just paste it, and every morning you go in and say, okay, today's the 13th of May. Interesting that it already knows that. We had a sleep quality of 85%. This is a hack, by the way, and something that not a lot of people know. Your sleep quality and quality of your decisions is directly correlated with each other, because if you haven't slept well, your body has more stress, and more stress leads to, I think there was a study which said, okay, if you have more stress through, for example, a worse sleep or because you haven't eaten yet, you are likely to make a 60% worse decision than if you wouldn't have like this stress level. So it's also very important. I like to track my emotional state as well, because later on I can go back to it and like understand patterns, and understand, okay, when did I do like the highest quality work, when did I do like good trades or bad trades, when did I do like deep research, and like I just want to understand like those data points, and this is a very simple way to track all of that. Then the time available today for investing related work. So here you could just set like a time frame. So for example, if you want to say, okay, I have like 4 hours or so, then you can like put it in here. And what it does is basically it helps you to stay focused throughout this time. So what I would recommend you to do is to check in every 15 minutes and just like in the beginning, get into the flow of like holding yourself accountable and be aware of what you're actually doing. So this is like something which like I really, really enjoy doing. It also pushes me and just increases my overall like awareness of what I'm actually doing. Then daily focus priorities. So here you just like put in the stuff that is like important today. I personally would focus on the things that you get through the Billionaire Mentor. So I would always have like, for example, a portfolio review each day. And then also I would like work on the task that I got from the Billionaire Mentor. Then you continue to make progress. You still have like, you monitor your portfolio regularly. So this is what I would do. And then have you analyze key macro events today. So if you press no here, I hope it actually does that without me doing like, let's say, so let's just take that, whatever. 2 hours. So feeling good, whatever. So if you go into that, yeah, exactly. Option notes, whatever, bam. Now what it will do is, first of all, it will track everything. And then it will actually give you upcoming macro events. So this is a small hack and small bonus I threw in. It will basically tell you which macro events are important in the next 7 to 21 days. And those are events which are actually like important when you go over them. So you, for example, have the US CPI report, you have the FOMC minutes, the F Duncan upgrade, which is actually extremely important, potential ETF approval updates. So this could be, for example, like maybe you are wondering like, okay, what ETF is he talking about? So you could go into this, and it also highlights like potential or sustained inflows and outflows. This could mean signal like, all right, that's actually really cool. I haven't seen that yet. So this is actually really, really helpful. So a rotation opportunity scan, it will also give you some ideas on what you can do. Narrative validation drill, pick one hot theme, AI agents, whatever. Investigate which projects are seeing volume. So this is actually like, it just helps you. It just helps you to stay focused on do the things that actually matter. What I would do is, if you haven't like looked into those reports or into those events yet, I would also check them out and just try to understand like what is the impact through them. So this one is extremely important. Now, what you do is what you basically like, you start, for example, you could simply say log 15-minute time now. Here it's 10 a.m. So what did I do? I did my portfolio review. So now you go into this and just basically tell it what you have done. Yeah, perfect. And you could, for example, like also ask what is the next task I should focus on. Yeah, so you could basically ask it what your next task should be. You can also be like a bit flexible in the way how you use it. So what I did with the original prompt, where this is coming from, like because I used it for general productivity first, you could also ask it, okay, like after 1 week, now you know my schedule, now you know how much time I spend on the different things, like what is a way how I could structure my week with the time that I have each week. Now, then it will go on and tell you, okay, you need to improve here and there. Then you can improve like your overall portfolio maintenance, for example. This is like the time you need for that is unusually long. So this is like what you can use this prompt for as well. So it's really, really helpful. So I would highly recommend you to start using that and also start integrating this accountability system in your overall life, not just for crypto. Now let's talk about the last one. One of the biggest use cases I see for AI is analyzing data. Based on this, you can create your own strategies and also verify other strategies that people talk about in the internet. Now, looking at indicators and creating an actual strategy are two different things. And a lot of people struggle with understanding how to read those and look at what actually matters. Now, for analyzing indicators and strategies with AI, I follow those 3 simple steps. First of all, I head over to TradingView and select the chart of my choice. Second, I activate all the indicators I want for that analysis. Third, I download the chart data and upload it to Claude. Optionally, you can write down the suggested strategy into a document so you can give it to Claude as well. To quickly visualize this, you could, for example, say if the RSI is overbought, I sell. So just to get the point, this is obviously not a good strategy. But if you write this exact strategy into a Google Doc, you can later on give it to ChatGPT and use it as a strategy that you want to test. Okay, so here we have the Claude prompt that I was talking about. It's quite long. I will link a prompt with like blanks in it because I used it like for this specific example right here. So I downloaded the BTC dominance chart and the others dominance chart, and also added the 50-day moving average, the super trend, and the RSI based moving average. So here for the RSI, I used the length 14, and now I haven't like thought about it too much. I haven't integrated like a strategy or something like that. I just let it do this on its own. And the strategy obviously was bad. But overall, you could basically, like I published a video on like those 3 indicators specifically and use the strategy I was talking about and just like test it to understand like how you can use this strategy and under which circumstances you can use it. So what I basically do is I like put all of that inside of it, and I let Claude create a dashboard for me. Now, you could also continue developing this and say, for example, that you also want like a field where you can upload CSV data. So you can simply just like put in accurate or actual like updated daily values. So for example, you could say, okay, I want to upload the BTC dominance chart each day and also the other dominance data as well, and give me the option to do that inside of the dashboard. Now, because like when you go down a bit, you see like how often Claude started to hit the max length. And this usually happens if you start like analyzing big chunks of data. And Claude, like you have a lot of capacity if you have the paid version, but at one point you will hit like the maximum usage for 24 hours, which sucks. So I would definitely think about what you want to do or what do you want to use Claude for when you start visualizing data. But once you're doing this is actually really cool. So I haven't like the strategy, which is here, like I just copy and paste this prompt from somewhere else. So the strategy here is really, really bad, obviously. So I wanted to understand the altcoin season probability. I haven't put much thought into the strategy. So what it basically does, it like helps you to like understand, okay, is this a strong setup, a medium strong setup, or like a very like the strength is not like there's a small signal. So it basically analyzes those parameters for you and gives you a signal. So right now, or based on yesterday's data, the signal strength score would be 6 out of 6. The market dumped today, meaning that it wasn't a good signal. So obviously the strategy, which is written down here, is bad. And this is also what it tells us. So yeah, basically what you get is a signal success rate, average altcoin season duration based on this indicator. And I think I only took like the
data of the past year. So what I would recommend is to have don't increase the data too much, make it rather small, and have a shorter testing period. And if you see that the data works or has a okay-ish probability or okay-ish success rate in the 1 year time frame, you can expand it. Because if you expand it to, for example, 5 years, the data set becomes really, really, really big, meaning that such a dashboard would take hours to generate. So if you have a situation like that, I wouldn't recommend to create a dashboard. I would just do the math inside of Claude, and then everything becomes much faster as well. And you still get a good response. But the dashboard is really helpful and just helps you to analyze data. So here you also see a history. If you scroll down a bit, you also see some backtesting results based on the strategy that we used here. And what it basically tells us is, okay, we have a lot of false positive rates. The false positive rate is at 75%, and the success rate is only at 24%. And overall, not a sufficient strategy. This would if I would see this, I would say, okay, the strategy is bad. And you basically see some entry conditions, enter with 100% of allocation when a strong outcome season signal is active. So this is actually funny because when we go to the 10th of May, it would have we would have lost. It's as simple as that if we would use this strategy. But this is something that you can test out, and over time, you will find some ways and how to look at each indicator to understand if it's good or bad, and how you could actually use it. So for example, I received a lot of questions regarding the RSI, how to use it and stuff like this. So using Claude, you could basically answer that question yourself. And it's not simple. Obviously, you have to think about it. You have to understand what do I have to look at? What are different ways to look at? But again, you can use Claude for that. You can also use Claude for testing different indicator strategies and just understand okay, what is the best way to read the RSI, for example. Or you go through Google and research different ways to look at the RSI. Then you see someone telling you, okay, if the moving average of the RSI is crossing 50 to the upside, this usually is an okay signal for an altcoin season. So this would be, for example, something that you could check out. And then if you see that the signal has some kind of success, then this would be, for example, a good addition to your overall system. Now, a system doesn't just consist out of one indicator or one way to look at the market, but multiple opinions or indicators that you then combine into one signal. And this signal or this setup can then be categorized into strong, medium strong, or weak. But weak doesn't necessarily mean bad, but maybe just that you are early. And based on that, you can then decide how you do your risk management and so on and so forth. So really, really helpful stuff. I can highly recommend you to use it. We used it for analyzing our own strategies and improving them over time. You can also use ChatGPT for that, of course. The deep research mode of ChatGPT is also really helpful for it. But for the visualization part, I like Claude the most.
All right, let's wrap this up. The first prompt turns ChatGPT into your personal portfolio assassin. The second builds a daily system that protects your time and energy. The third helps you analyze data which took weeks beforehand if you knew what you were doing. Now, if you want to go deeper, for 48 hours, I will link a free resource in my Telegram channel. The link to that is in the description. And you can access that over there without giving me your email or something like that. It's completely free to use. So if I would be you, I would be using it. AI will elevate the ones who use it, and those who miss it will get left behind. No other technology will have such an impact as AI. So if you are not using it right now, I highly recommend you to check it out and start using it in every aspect of your life. Otherwise, you will get left behind. So with that being said, if you haven't subscribed yet, do that now, and I see you in the next video. Bye-bye.